graffiti can be the first area of disrespect between gangs, is crossing out somebody else's graffiti, which tends to lead to an escalation in behaviors. So people either defending their territory or just feeling affronted by the fact that somebody crossed out their graffiti can lead to an escalating series of violence. Right up here was a double gang homicide about 4 years ago, and that one was directly affiliated with and tied to graffiti and vandalism. They've done a really beautiful thing there, replacing a location where they had chronic issue with graffiti with a community mural. Community mural is beautiful, but it also adds that community ownership piece that makes it way less likely to be vandalized by the gangs, because now it's part of the community and community pride. In the city of Burien, we have 10 or 11 different gangs that are operating. I'm not going to mention one over the other or give any priority to one gang over the other, just a recognition that they're all here. People don't run to the gangs, they run from something else. So one of the things with the gang is it gives you a sense of belonging. And that's really what it is that people are involved, is they belong to a culture where people fill those unmet needs. They provide safety to each other. They provide love and support to each other. So that's the needs that they're meeting within that group, and often they fund themselves through illegal activities. One of the revenue sources is the distribution of the fake narcotic pills or the M30s or fentanyl-based tablets. It seems like, man, you're elementary school, late elementary school, 5th, 6th grade, they're starting that recruiting. We've seen people as young as 12 or 13, both on the receiving end of violence as well as committing acts of violence in our community. We have to acknowledge that we don't throw away 13-year-olds, right? 13-year-olds, we have to find a way to get them back to being highly functional members of society.
Keep up that form, keep up that form.
There's a program called Badges and Barbells. We have police officers working with and coaching with the young people to work out after school. It's a relationship opportunity, a coaching opportunity, a mentoring opportunity, all those things that are really what we're talking about here, is those opportunities to develop positive, nurturing relationships instead of negative relationships.
¿De dónde eres? ¿De Guatemala? Yo soy de Venezuela.
Carlos Marquez, who was one of the Badges and Barbells coaches. One of my favorite things about Carlos is he grew up in Burien. So he grew up here, he became a community service officer here with the Burien Police Department, and then became a detective with Burien Police Department. So he's come kind of full circle from growing up in this community to serving the community from a law enforcement lens. And he has this amazing ability to connect with young people because he literally was there. You can't say, you've never been here, you don't understand, when he grew up in the same apartment complex you're living in today.
¿Cómo está? También.
I think it's huge when you have officers that understand culture, officers who are part of that culture, because not only do they have the ability to develop the relationship with the young person, they also have the ability to share that culture with the other law enforcement officers. You'll find that people will sit around the roll call room table talking about those cultures. For instance, Ricardo Cueva is in the room, he's talking about the Spanish culture from the perspective of, I grew up in that culture, this is my understanding. And I think it really deepens the relationship the other officers are able to have with the community, as well as Officer Cueva himself. All of us are humans, whether you be an officer, whether you be a young person. All too often we stereotype people into all these little boxes. And I like to introduce myself first as, hey, my name's Ted. I'm a dad, I'm a husband. That's who we are as people, and we have to start from that place. We also have to give that credit to young people.